All right, let's take a look at the Goldwing F6B Deluxe. This bike's gaining a lot of popularity among people that like the cruiser market, want all the accessories, and I mean all the accessories, built-in bags, stereo, the whole 9 yards, without the huge windshield and all the other stuff that goes with it. So this is becoming a very popular bike, so why not take a look at it? Let's see how it fits. Okay. Well, you're forced by the shape of the seat to sit all the way back so it spoons up against your bum. So in doing that, I'm right on the balls of, well, actually no, I'm on my big toe. I can't get my feet flat. I don't know if I scooted any further forward, which is an unnatural seating position, if I could get any more comfortable. Handlebars come up and back, so they're preset. There's no way to change that setting. So if you're laid back and sat where your back is slightly canted, it's actually, and your arms are relatively straight, the bars will fit me no problem. If I go up against the grips, that doesn't feel right. I want to come out a little bit, almost to the end of the grips, and that feels a lot more natural. Both the brake and clutch levers, in terms of angle, can be changed. Both the brake and clutch levers are adjustable. The reach is just a little shy on the brake, but it's perfect on the clutch. In terms of the pedal, it's huge, great big pedal, which is great for your foot to just rest on. It'll cover your entire arch, so that's really comfortable. The brake lever is perfect in height, set up because your foot's pointing slightly upwards. And for my size 9 foot, the lever's right on the ball. For the shifter, that feels good too. Getting underneath and on top, again for my size 9 foot, feels really, really good. And if you can just get used to balancing this way before you get rolling, even the weight of the bike, it's a big bike, but again, so much has gone into engine position so that the bike's flickable, that even something this big, right on my big toe only, is easily manageable at a standstill. It might be easier for you to switch to one leg, and if you do that, your other foot instantly goes flat. So figure out what feels best for you ergonomically, 2 feet down or 1 foot, and then the rest from there should be a piece of cake. So that's how I fit the Deluxe. All right, let's see what we have now for static sag. Now, fortunately, with a bike this size, you get lots of hand grip and lots of potential to lift, so yep, there's plenty of static sag there. Probably 15 mil. Now on the forks, again, we won't be able to see them, but the book says 120 millimeters of travel. So let's see what we've got. 160 exposed chrome tube on the telescopic fork. So 40 millimeters down from the base of the lower triple clamp, put your black felt pen line there, and that will give you the idea where bottom out is. All right, with Mr. Williams on the bike, crush that front end, sir. Okay, thank you. Okay. So that dropped 55 millimeters with Dave on it. And now, because there's nothing to measure to because of all the hard bags, it doesn't stop us measuring from the ground up to the base there. So that is 360 millimeters. All right, Dave, off you get. All right, stand her up. Your weight training commences. 360 mil, keep coming. And there we go. So we're going to give that 20 mil and then back to the kickstand, so 380. Now we've got to follow the angle. Okay, let it go. Now, we don't know if that's real static sag because when I pick the bike up by myself, it's different. So what we're going to do is do it a different way on static. Mr. Williams is going to have that. He's going to come around this side of the camera. I'm going to hold the bike up and pick it up. And so you go the other side where that crash bar is, Dave. Measure from the ground up to that.
What part of the crash bar?
Right there to the middle of it. Bike's level now.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah. Looks like it went from 40. Okay, let it go. It went from 40, 41. Okay, lift it.
He's got me weight training here. Olympic
It
deadlifting.
went from 41 to 44.
So 30 millimeters of static, whereas when we put it on a kickstand and elevated it, that seemed considerably more. So again, where things seem to be a little misleading, go over it again and do it a different way and see what the math is that you can get. All right, what do we have for external adjusters? Well, on a bike like this, where everything is fully closed and everything is encased, you need to go back to the book. So, the book says the forks have only anti-dive capability. So whatever that is in the front forks and however that's manifested, whether that's electronic or whether that's internal engineering, is not clear in the manual, just on the specification sheet. Don't start yelling. If it's in the book, it's in the book. We don't have the book. The rear shock has hydraulic preload only, again on the specification sheet. So, anti-dive system, preload adjustability. So we have something at least in the rear shock that we can physically adjust. All right, let's see how this feels. Now, even though the sag number seems to be very large, with a bike of this size and weight, the front end needs stiffness, and you can feel that when you push on it. That thing ramps right up, so when you're braking, you don't get that weight transfer. Now, part of that could be the anti-dive system, and if that is working without the key on, great, it's very effective and it feels that way. The back of the bike doesn't move very much, and because it doesn't move very much, that's reflective of what it's supposed to do. One person, two person, both bags full, everything loaded up. So the back of the bike is configured perfectly for what it's going to conform to and be made to work with, so having the adjustable preload is great. So what would I do for settings? I want to check out what this anti-dive system does, because there's springs in there and there's oil in there. So I'd love to see what it does in terms of manifesting its behavior on the road while being ridden. I'd put a zip tie on it, mark bottom out, and see how far I got with light braking, and then how far I got with heavy braking to see if there was a measurable difference. And that would really help me guide my thinking as to whether I need to do something with the forks and what my choices were with the forks. Given the sag numbers in the back, I'd ride it. For 180 pounds, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Now, if you're 220 to 250, adjustable preload in the back, given the static that we found, I'd want half that static reduced to 10 mil. Once that's done, cable tie in the front fork, how close do you get to bottom out? Is the anti-dive mechanism good enough for you and the way you ride the bike? And if it is, thumbs up, all you needed to change was the preload in the back. If you are 120 to 150, you're not putting a passenger on the bike, you're not stuffing the bags full of all that extra weight. That back may be a little too harsh of a ride, but who knows? You've got to be that 6 and 7 year old and go and discover, how's it feel? Take more preload out and see how the shock feels with less preload tension. Does it become more compliant? And if it does, hey, that's great. You didn't have to spend any money on optimizing the bike for you. So that will work out really well. So those are the settings I'd consider for the 3 weight categories.
To schedule a remote tuning appointment for you and your bike with Dave via text, email, Facebook, etc., contact Dave on Facebook or by email, dave@davemosstuning.com.